Welcome to Sci-Fi Saturday. I'm Scotty, you're not. Robin Williams is known for his comedic films, but he has done some serious films like 1 Hour Photo, Good Will Hunting, and uh, and the subject for today's video, The Final Cut. Released in 2004, The Final Cut was a film starring Robin Williams and Jim Caviezel, Stephanie Romanoff, Mira Sorvino, and is one of the more interesting films of his filmography. And this comes from a guy who did movies like Jumanji, Jack, Toys, Death to Smoochie. This one is interesting because I never hear anyone talk about it. They talk about other serious films like 1 Hour Photo or Good Will Hunting, but not this one. I think I bought this from a Walmart DVD bin years ago. I think I watched it once. I haven't watched it again. I know why. See, in this film, in a not too distant future, everybody has or in the distant future, whatever, everyone has an implant. There are people that have implants in their head, and it contains their memories. Now, when that person dies, it is the responsibility of a cutter to put together all the good memories into a little highlight reel thing for the family to watch at the funeral. Sounds simple enough, but yeah, I feel like there would be flaws in that situation, such as, a subject of the film itself. When this guy, Mr. Bannister, dies, he's in charge, our main character, of I want to say of Alan, actually, not Alan Parrish though. Alan Hankman. Main character of Alan is in charge of cutting together this Mr. Bannister's memories. He is followed around by a former cutter by the name of Fletcher, played by Jim Caviezel. Jesus. Because he believes that Mr. Bannister is not as clean cut as he seems. Now, on one hand, it would be something. Like, I thought about this. So, it's during the purging of Mr. Bannister's memories, he finds a clip, for lack of a better term, of what would imply that he was, how do I put this gently, a Cuties fan to his daughter. Yeah, he was doing the naughty to his daughter. I don't want to say it like that. That he was doing bad things to his daughter. Doing bad things to his daughter. And I apologize for how I said it earlier. That's just not right. I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm sorry. Doing bad things to his daughter. I don't want to say the word, YouTube stuff, but doing bad things. And when he's going through it, he just sort of deletes that. And it had me thinking, what if this was, on the other hand, someone going through stuff and finding that? What if he was responsible for finding bad things and outing it? That's Fletcher, though. A cutter is supposed to be unbiased when it comes to stuff like that. Cut it out and just keep all the good stuff. But Jim Caviezel's character, Fletcher, he wants to out these people. Now, some would say that he could be on the right side of things. There's certainly stuff like that you want to get outed. But the guy is dead. So you think that would be beating a dead horse. Now, if the movie focused on this plot line, on, the moral implications of, is Fletcher right? Or Fletcher right for going after this? Or is Alan right for ignoring it and letting the family see the good stuff. You know, it is also heavily implied that the mother, the wife, played by Stephanie Romanoff from Angel, kind of knew what was going on, and the daughter definitely. There was something, and it just, like when he goes in to talk to her, she starts spouting out this stuff that's clearly rehearsed beforehand. My daddy loved me, and he was very good, blah 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 blah, that sort of thing, and it's very rehearsed, like they're trying to hide something, you can tell. But again, he has to be unbiased, and again, I feel like if the film was focused on that, like should he keep it quiet, or is Fletcher in the right? Is he in the right? It would work. But they decided that the main focus of Alan's time should be dedicated to trying to find an old friend of his that he believed died. The film starts off with what we perceive to be one of Alan's memories of playing with his friend on the scaffolding. His friend falls, and when Alan gets down, he steps in what he believes to be blood. So he believes his friend is dead. However, while looking through Mr. Bannister's memories, he sees someone who resembles an older version of his friend. So now he starts to dig in to Mr. Bannister's life to try to figure out who it was, and when he does, it's revealed that the guy actually died not too long ago, and the guy did not have an implant. However, he finds out he has an implant and starts to dig and wants to dig into his memories. And he goes to his boss, and he finds, we find out that cutters are not allowed to have implants. He didn't know he had one. Although his job would have known, so, because they're connected to this eyewear, whatever it's called, so you think they would know anyone who has implants. But yeah, so we see his footage and stuff, and once the movie starts to get towards the end, it really just sort of falls apart. Like I said, there's a lot of, the stuff of, was that me? The stuff of, the implications of whether or not it's right or wrong to out someone die, or to make the people think that he was actually a good person, or to out him, that whole thing, and if you should do it, and how many others has Alan just clicked off, deleted, and ignored. A lot of bad stuff that happened. But no, we get this crazy thing. Fletcher is constantly trying to find him, and at one point, so he has this girlfriend played by Mira Sorvino, and he shows her the memory thing, and some of the memories. There's a thing early on in the film about how she keeps having dreams of aging backwards, Benjamin Button, before Benjamin Button happened. And so earlier on he shows her a clip. He shows her a reverse of someone's life. But later it's found out that he found out about this because of one of her ex-boyfriends that died. So she gets all pissed and destroys this little machine thing, which is a part of his job, so she definitely have to pay for that. But she gets pissed and destroys that, which destroys the Bannister footage. Right? And so you think it's over, and he does, so he goes, he gets his implant thing, and he gets it closed off, but he also finds out the truth of what happened, and he goes to the grave, and this is where it all just sort of really falls apart. Not Bannister. Fletcher is there. He confronts him, and he's like, "Oh, the footage was destroyed. I told you, it's gone. It was destroyed." And he goes, "Yeah, but your implant. You saw the footage. All I have to do is look at your implant stuff." And so he tries to run away. He kind of tussles with him, tries to run away, and it looks as if Fletcher just gives up. But his buddy shoots him dead. And he dies, and the last scene is Fletcher looking at the footage, saying he's going to do it justice. Now, pardon my French, but what the fuck kind of ending is that? What? Did they not know how to end the film? If it ended with him standing by his friend's grave, it would be one thing. But I guess they had to come around to this. So why? Here's the situation. How about he finds out about his implant before, right? Before the whole incident with his girlfriend, right? How about there is no incident with his girlfriend? How about he finds out about the implant and he goes to get it done when he comes back? That's when he has that confrontation with Fletcher in the apartment, which causes the footage to be. Oh no, she has to have that breakdown to destroy the footage. Okay, then he finds out he has an implant. He goes, he gets that done, he comes back, and that's where Fletcher's there waiting for him. He tries to tell him, hey, the footage is destroyed. He's like, no, but I found out you have an implant, so I'm gonna get it, and have it just be him and Fletcher and the other person there, and I would honestly say maybe the cops are called because of the noise. The neighbors complain, and Fletcher has a gun on him, and the cops come and shoot Fletcher. They don't kill him; they shoot him in the arm and take him to jail. Then we end with the scene at the cemetery, looking at his friend's grave. But here's the thing about the whole friend thing. I don't get why it's so important. Like, in the beginning, he thinks his friend died. But it ends up being his friend died later in life anyway. So, I don't understand. I just don't understand. And also, if his friend died and had an implant, then a cutter must have. If his friend, so his friend didn't have an implant, but if he did, a cutter would have already went through it, right, and took out all the bad stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that memory's not a good one. They keep all the important ones. Maybe that's not important. Maybe it's not in there. I don't know. It gets so boggled up in this whole subplot of him trying to find out if his friend's alive or not. I don't understand why that's there. Like I said, if it was more focused on this rivalry between him and Fletcher, I think it would work better. But it adds that in there, and through the whole film you're asking, why should we care? Why should we care about this friend that supposedly died? There's no interest in it. There's no investment because, if he finds his friend alive and well, and is like, oh, I must have. What's that? Hid the memory. I must have wiped it from my memory. I have to black that out. There it is, blacked it out. And he finds his friend, and they have like a cup of coffee or something, and get reconnected. That's one thing. But for him to find out his friend was alive and is now dead, just sort of eliminates the purpose of him not dying in the opening thing anyway. It just doesn't. And let's talk about Robin Williams, okay? Robin Williams was a great actor, a great comedic performer. He had some personal problems, sure. His performance in this is also not the best. He's not, even for his serious roles, this just doesn't, I don't know. Something doesn't sit well with this. It just doesn't seem right. Like, I'm sure he's trying to do his best. It just doesn't come off as well as you would hope. Jim Caviezel too. He's doing best with what he's given, but it's just not. In all honesty, I can't recommend this. It's not one of Robin Williams' best. I'm glad I finally reviewed it though. I think this is the Sci-Fi Saturday first, because when it comes to the final cut, it's just not worth your time. Plain and simple. First one to get below a middle of the road. It's on the middle of the road. It's underneath the road. It's just, I don't know. It's just not worth your time. It's not a terrible movie. If you have to, don't go out of your way to watch it. But if it's on like Tubi or Netflix or something, well, Tubi's better. Tubi or Freevee, places that are free to watch. you don't have to pay for, or even if you're paying for Netflix and you see it on there, why not? Just check it out. It's not, I guess I'm not recommending it, but like if you really feel like you have to, if you get an itch, like I kind of want to see what he's talking about, then do it. But like otherwise, not. You know. So, what are your thoughts on the final cut? In the comments, so much like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.